This is now going to be in my head for the rest of the day. The rest of the day.
Jaiden Animations. It's been a while. Well, as you guys know, I was taking a break.
Okay, that's enough of that.
Well, as you guys know, I was taking a break from some of the animators that I used to watch a lot. Because for a while there, it was like all I was doing, and I've almost seen everything. So I needed to give it some time.
But now we're back.
Jaiden Animations! I got 3 Jaiden videos, maybe 2, I don't know. We'll see what we have time for. Jaiden videos that I want to check out. I want to watch some classic animated stories. So what I have picked out today. Locked out of my house. My experience with sports, and I see a gi and a blue belt there, so I'm very excited. And Random Thoughts Part 2 edition. We got 3 8-minute slappers. So I want to check these out. I want to dive in, give my thoughts, and I want you to come along and relax with me. Grab some water, make sure you're hydrated.
Hello, how are you? I am under the water.
Grab whatever you want. If you want a snack, go get a snack. The only thing that you need to snack on for sure is the like button. If you could snack on the like button for me real quick. Okay, let's go, guys. You know what? I wanted to start with a classic animation concept. Random thoughts. Jaiden, it's been a while. I just want to reintroduce me to your brain real quick, okay? Let's get a little bit of that Jaiden weirdness. You know what I'm saying? RobertIDK Jaiden Animations. 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to Random Thoughts. This time, Part 2 edition. I want to talk about random things that cross my mind, but can't stretch them into their own videos, so I'm shambling them all together to make a weird video that's a whole caboodle of nonsense. If you haven't seen my first Random Thoughts video, you don't need to watch that one first to understand this one. Thinking about it, you could pretty much jump in at any point of either of these videos, and you'll be fine since it's nothing but a melting pot of balderdash.
That's why we're doing it first.
Source.com is giving me a rainbow of colorful words today. Poppycock. Are there limits to what you can call a fork? There's 3-pronged forks and 4-pronged forks. Can a knife be classified as a 1-pronged sharp fork?
No.
You use them both to stab things. Well, I guess knives are more slicing and cutting. Can a sword be classified as a 1-pronged super sharp fork? Those things were definitely both created to stab. Can a fork fall in the category of a tiny, really dull 4-pronged sword? Is there a spectrum of fork to knife to sword? Back in like the Renaissance era, what if rivals said, "Sir, I challenge you to a super sharp 1-pronged fork duel"? Or even,
I don't think that happened.
What if, "Sir, I challenge you to a dull 4-pronged tiny sword duel"?
Yeah, the person with the normal sword will win instantly, and all of your mental gymnastics you're doing won't work when your head is no longer attached to your body. So I wouldn't focus too much on the semantics of blades, because by the time you're finished thinking it, you have no head attached to your body to think about it.
So you know bananas? Those yellow things? I don't know about your life, but I always grew up not eating any bruises on bananas. There's nothing wrong with bruised bananas. They're the same as any normal non-bruised banana.
Cute.
I think. I just did research, as in the first result on Google, and it says for bananas to ripen, they start to make a hormone called ethylene, which sounds like an ingredient in gasoline, but it's not. It's what turns bananas from their super gross green bitter phase to the softer, sweeter, and quite frankly, more superior yellow phase.
Of course.
Yay,
that's when you're supposed to eat
But
it.
apparently, ethylene doesn't know how to chill out, so even when a banana's at the perfect ripeness, the ethylene is like,
keep going.
no, I think we can keep going.
Yeah, we're not done.
I think we can be even more ripe. What's the worst that can happen? So the banana just tries to infinitely get more ripe, which is what eventually turns it mushy and brown.
Aww.
And isn't that just a metaphor for life? You can't endlessly chase the image of banana perfection you have in your head, little banana. You should try to stop and appreciate the ripeness you're at every once in a while. Or else you'll keep working towards something unachievable and get all mushy.
You know, this one is more applicable to life. I would say, yes, don't over-ripen. Don't spend too long in the sun, or else you will turn into a dark brown banana as well. You know, wear sunscreen is the moral. And appreciate the ripeness you're at. Me personally, got no bruises on me right now, but if I did, I wouldn't think I'm any less beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate your ripeness. But also, if you're starting to stink, you should take a shower.
Banana body positivity. Unless you're a green banana. then I hate you. So the dark spots are basically just the banana starting to get too ripe, which means they're harmless. But they used to freak me out a lot, so I'd have to cut them off or something to be able to enjoy the rest of the banana. And then I started thinking, what if there was a banana monster that ate humans? Would they want to eat the bruises on humans?
We don't have as many bruises as bananas.
Splits. This one has a bruise on it. You know those parts are still edible, right? I don't like them.
I don't like those parts of the humans.
Here, you can just cut off the bruises. It's fine.
Ah!
You can just use this one fork of mine. And this started off all sciencey and informational. And then I think I ruined
Science, the fork thing. There was no science to be found with your fork monologue, Jaiden. But yes, the bananas. I did learn a little bit about bananas. Good job. I knew that bananas were okay when I would go to a smoothie place and I would see that the bananas they had were basically all mushy brown. And it's like, well, if I'm eating this and I'm still alive, then I guess it's fine to eat overly ripe bananas. You know who really likes bananas? Do you really want to know? Because I'll show you. If you ain't got it by now, then you just ain't getting it, homies. You know what's going on? You know who likes bananas?
Muffins like bananas, right? Right, Mr. Felix? Right, Mr. Felix? There you go. There you go. Ah! Right, Mr. Kuma? You like a banana, don't you, buddy? Oh, Kuma. Oh, yeah. Look at him munching on the banana over there. Oh, Felix, you like the banana, Mr. Felix? Do you like the banana, Mr. Felix? You're a yummy banana boy. Oh, yeah. What a sweet lad.
I think I know two other little muffins who would like a banana.
Is that my Mr. Bingo Bear? Bingo. Oh, my God. Labby. Mr. Labbington? Hello, Labby. There you go. You want a banana?
He always grabs it with his hand. He has no idea that he dropped it right down there. It's right down there, dingus. Oh, did he get it? Oh, he got it. It's gone now. Oh, yeah. When a muffin gets a banana, they disappear into the realm.
The only reason we can see this little muffin right now, Mr. Felix, is because he wants another banana. Isn't that right, mister? Isn't that right, mister?
And I personally don't think that muffins would mind a little bit of bruise on their banana.
Since you brought up the topic of bananas, I was at a store checkout line one time and this guy got in queue behind me. I didn't think anything of it until I saw this river of bananas roll up to the register. Imagine, so you know how grocery stores have their bananas on display, and underneath the display sometimes there's more boxes
Bonus
of
bananas.
He had like 4 of those banana boxes, all laid out on the conveyor belt. I've never seen anyone buy that many bananas before.
Just go to a tree at that point.
You know you have to eat all those in a certain amount of time, right? With the ethylene and all that. Is this your first time buying bananas? I looked up to see who this hero of a man was, and we made eye contact.
Oh, it was Donkey
I didn't know
Kong.
what to do, but I felt like I had to say something because I was so proud of him. So I just went, yeah, bananas are my favorite too. What are fish's opinions on water currents? Do you think they think they're annoying?
What? That's the end of the banana saga? The banana saga? You should have just told us it was Donkey. You looked up and it was Donkey Kong. And that was the only explanation. Because why did he need all those bananas? I'm still wondering. We haven't had that answered yet. I don't know why he had so many bananas. I guess the world will never know the mystery of the Banana Stanley. I'm calling him Stanley, Banana Stan. You've heard of Pajamas Sam, now try Banana Stan.
What are fish's opinions on water currents? Do you think they think they're annoying? Welcome home, fish dear. How was your day at the office?
Huh? That's cute.
Ah, fish wife. The currents were pretty strong today. I was swimming to fish work, and the currents swished all my fish papers out of my fish hands.
Annoying.
I mean fins, so I was late. Our fish neighbor, Benjafish, crashed into me on my way as well. Currents were too strong for his feeble fish body. You know him in his old fish age.
Yeah.
Oh, fish frick. Fish wife, there's no need to use that type of fish link.
Yeah, that's messed up.
This is stupid. But our strong
I
water
loved that.
currents
That was
for
my
fish
favorite
the
part.
equivalent to like strong wind for us. Wind is my least favorite weather. People with long hair can understand. Or do you think they're more like fun amusement park rides? Or at least slides. Like in Nemo when they were with the hot turtle. That seemed like fun. I can imagine a fish charging fish money to let other fish go down the river stream or a little waterfall. Fun for the entire fish family. Fishny world. But then I remember those clips of salmon trying to swim upstream against the water to go have babies. And that whole ordeal just seems like an inconvenience.
Yeah.
Especially because bears. Oh, fish!
Yeah, makes it too easy for the bears. I feel like this particular one is Googleable. So let's see. Do fish like currents or do they literally hate it? The fish's relationship with currents is complex. Of course, we knew that. It's a complicated relationship with current. And it's not a simple matter of liking or disliking them. Some fish thrive in moving water while others avoid it. Many species actively use currents for foraging while others rely on calmer areas for rest and shelter. Okay, foraging. Many fish like salmon and trout actively swim against currents to find food drifting downstream. So, but that food, does the food hate the current? Does food... No, food does not have feelings like humans and cannot hate anything, including currents. Okay. Why doesn't food have feelings too? Sad face. Food does not have feelings in the traditional sense. Here's why. Food items, whether plants or animal products, lack the neurological structures that allow for feelings and emotions. That's sad. But on the plus side, if a banana gets a bruise, it's not gonna be sad about it.
This is so funny.
Oh, fish! Are we all just brains wearing human meat suits? Let's pretend there's a fountain of youth somewhere. Let's pretend that's a real thing. Do you think that if you sat in it too long, that your fingers would get wrinkly? Get it? Because water makes your hands... Do you think if you sit in it for too long, you'll eventually just turn into your mom and dad because before you became a human baby, that's how you originated?
No.
If you wait even longer, do you become your grandparents?
No.
Can you keep going until there's several medieval villages of ancestors sitting in this fountain?
Probably not.
Can we reach amoeba phases? RNA in the primordial soup? The universe itself! I talked about keeping a little list of these random thoughts as I think about them over time in part 1, and this point just says, why are bugs always pregnant? With no other context.
Okay.
So, I don't know what to talk about here, or what past Jaiden was even thinking when she wrote that. As a kid, I would daydream a lot. In 4th grade...
All right, let's try this again. Why are bugs always pregnant? The idea that bugs are always pregnant is an oversimplification. Most insects do not have it. Okay, whatever.
As a kid, I would daydream a lot. In 4th grade, sometimes I would make up this scenario in my head where I would be in school like any normal day, and in the middle of class, I would magically be turned into a dog. Stay with me here. I'm not a furry. So I was transformed into a dog somehow, and I imagined that I'd get up from my desk, walk up to the teacher, and say,
Bark.
Can I go home?
I'm a dog.
I'm a dog. And that would be my excuse to get out of school.
Aww.
Smell you later.
And then you go home and you try to play video games, but your hands have turned into paws and you realize, oh yeah, dogs literally can't do anything. Even if dogs were as smart as humans, they don't have these. They don't have these things. They can't do anything. They can't
make a crocodile face that will talk like this.
So what's it like to be a normal kid? I feel like the majority of people would just try to pretend they're sick or something. Me? Nah, being turned into a dog would be the most logical and easiest way to get out of school.
Yeah, that makes the most sense.
I didn't even have a follow-up plan for after I got out of class. I'd go home, and then what? Just be a dog for the rest of my life?
Exactly.
Obviously, I had to be a dog that talked, so maybe I would have became a super famous talking dog. But scientists might want to take me away and run tests on me and my weird human dog brain. All I wanted to do was get out of class. I'd probably end up daydreaming about turning back into a human to get out of dog experimental lab class. Or I could just pretend to be sick like a normal science experiment test subject.
I've been turned into a cow. Can I go home? Do you know what that's from?
No.
This is what Jaiden is trying to have in her life.
Get them!
Hey, I've been turned into a cow. Can I go home?
You're excused. Anyone else?
No, we're good. We're good.
Get them!
Hey, also, let me also give this disclaimer that I give anytime furries come up in a video. If you're a furry, that's chill. You are safe here. I hate that everyone has to always be like, guys, don't worry, I'm not a furry. I'm not a furry, guys, don't worry. Like, who cares? I'm not a furry, but I don't need to tell you that I'm not a furry if I talk about how much I love furry animals.
I'm not a furry.
So anyways, if you're a furry, you're cool with with me, okay? Much respect. You're all good. Guys, I'm not a furry. Okay, anyways, next video.
Welcome back to Jaiden Doesn't Know How to Map Out Video Lengths. Okay, so here's the story from Japan, getting home from Japan I was gonna talk about in the last video.
Okay.
But didn't. Please don't make fun of me. It was a long flight. I was very tired. Just kidding, I'm an actual idiot here. There's no excuse. So after another quick flight of 11 sleepless hours, I landed safely and was ready to go home. And my roommate offered to pick me up, but my house is a good 40 to 50 minutes away from the airport, and I felt bad for making them pick me up so much because
nice
a
of
week
you.
before I went to Japan, I was in the UK visiting friends for my birthday. Don't give me any birthday wishes. It was in September.
Happy birthday, Jaiden!
Happy birthday, Jaiden!
Did anyone say happy birthday? Did anyone say happy birthday? I'm a control F. Happy birthday. Don't wish me happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Jaiden. You know what? If Jaiden doesn't want it, I'll say it to you. If it's your birthday and you're watching this video, happy birthday. You're appreciated. You're awesome. And when you get to my age, you won't be excited for your birthday anymore.
They'd already driven me to and from the airport 3 times in the past 3 weeks,
well,
and I
pay
didn't want
them.
them to use up any more of their time
Pay
and gas.
them.
So I let them know I was just gonna grab an Uber, which worked out because they were invited to go get lunch with a friend and were worried about time overlap.
Okay.
Win-win. They get a nice lunch, I get in a stranger's car. Warning flag number 1. I never used Uber before. I have my own
What?
car. I usually don't need to use an app to find a guy with a weird R name to drive me around. 10 minutes
Weird
of confused
R
button
name?
pressing later. Ding! Your Uber will arrive in 5 minutes.
Yay.
Nice. Hello?
Yes, is this Jaiden?
Yeah, I'm at the gate. Terminal B between
No.
area 44 and 45. I don't see you. Are you near?
Oh no. Oh no! Is this what I think it is? Okay, I think Jaiden might live in LA, and if she lives in LA, she's not gonna get an Uber right outside of the gate. I think Jaiden lives in LA, because in LA, you can't, at the airport here, you can't get an Uber right to the gate. You have to get it on a bus. Lola had to do this, right? At the LA airport, you can't get an Uber to the gate. You have to get on a bus with everyone else, with all your luggage.
That was like my first time doing that. Yeah, it kind of sucked.
Yeah, it's not fun. Because it's such a busy airport. They don't want a million Ubers, so you have to take a bus to the Uber area, and it's this big thing. So if that's what happened here, I understand why the Uber canceled.
Hello? Your Uber has canceled. What? If we were on a date and I was waiting at the table and you called me from outside the restaurant like, hey, you here? Yeah, I'm at the back and the table to the right. You can't stand me up like that. At least give me some sort of reason. Come on, come back, Rajesh. Anyway, I found out that I needed to be on the upper level of the airport because that's where all the app pickups are. Whoopsie, that's my bad. But he could have told me that when he was on the phone with me in the first place, Rajesh.
Come on,
Go up
Rajesh.
the stairs.
Boom. Everyone's problem is solved here. Here's a bunch of money. When you think about it, Uber is kind of like the opposite of a kidnapping.
Wow. Drive me. Drive me.
Take me home. I got a new Uber that took 15 minutes to arrive, and an hour later I was almost home. Maps can be kind of wonky with my house address, so we started driving past my neighborhood. It was back there. Sorry about that. Oh, that's okay. Which one was it? I live in a little community with a bunch of houses, so I said it was the one on the corner.
Like most
Could have been
communities?
more specific, but that's just what came to my mind in the moment. He turned around but stopped at the wrong house and was like, this one? Look, I was running on no sleep for the past 20 hours, so my mush of a brain started being spouty and socially anxious about the whole situation.
To all the British viewers who just heard that, that word is... You know what? I'll censor it for the UK homies, because words aren't interpreted the same way in North America and Europe. This seems just like a normal Uber ride, honestly. Hey, could you turn around for me? You drove past the thing. No problem. I'll go the other way for 20 seconds and we're in the right place. How could it go wrong?
Socially anxious about the whole situation that wasn't even a situation. Almost all my brain cells were dead at this point, except for the one
Valid.
that ate grass in elementary school.
Valid.
Oh, you had to correct him because Google Maps is being weird? I didn't know you were Satan. I felt like I was bothering him a whole lot with all the one corrections I gave him. So in a panic, I was like,
No, this is fine.
this is the wrong house.
This is fine.
Yep, this is it. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Sorry for the hassle. Wow, is it great to be home at this house that I live in again.
Waiting until he drives away to go to the right house.
Mine. I'm paying this guy, and it's his job to take me to my house. So if it accidentally stops at the wrong one, it helps literally no one for me to be like, oh yeah, this is totally it. I've become a lot more socially confident and calm in the past year, but this is not a good example of that improvement.
Listen, I get it. After an 11-hour flight, nobody is your best self. You know how the Snickers commercials is like, yo, you're not yourself when you're hungry, have a Snickers. You're not yourself after an 11-hour flight, you know? Don't talk to me until I've had my 11-hour flight. Or the opposite, until I've not had my 11-hour flight.
I am aware I look like a wreck right now. I got my stuff from the trunk, walked up the driveway.
Go. I like this animation.
Now I'm standing in the front step of this random house, hiding from an Uber driver, hoping the people who actually live here don't realize the random girl standing here for literally no reason. Yes, this is exactly the spot I wanted to be in.
Way less awkward than just saying turn around.
Honey, did we adopt a 21-year-old Asian girl, or is this a very unthreatening house robber? I was stuck there waiting for him to leave, but he's just sitting there.
Rajesh, go!
Hey, can you get off the driveway I don't own already? What the heck, man? I got houses to rob. He was probably waiting to get connected to a new person to pick up, but it wouldn't have looked that great if he was also noticing me poke my head out and peer at him every 10 seconds. I couldn't have started walking to my actual house because I already pretended to walk into my house, and he would have seen me and been like, hey, wait, this isn't your house. What the heck? You lied to me. For literally no reason.
Doesn't care. He doesn't even care, Jade. See, this is what happens when you have social anxiety. The overthinking. I understand. I'm autistic. I have these thoughts. He does not care. He doesn't care. He dropped you off. He doesn't care what happens. The social interaction is over. Severed. He'll never think about you again unless you farted in his car. You know? Or something. I don't know. But he doesn't care. It's none of his business. Maybe your mailbox is that way, and you just need to walk to your mailbox, you know?
You lied to me. For literally no reason. And I couldn't have gotten out of the car and started walking to my actual house in the first place because I told him that this was my house. He even double checked, like, you sure this is good? And I was like, yep. I was so loopy and lethargic.
You'll never speak to this man again.
The past 20 hours of traveling. I couldn't even tell what was reasonable at this point. Was I actually pulling this off like I thought I was? Were the neighbors just watching me dig myself deeper and deeper into this hole? Could the driver actually see me this entire time? Because that would have been hilarious. Mommy, look! A dirty homeless girl! He finally drove off, and I walked over to my actual house across the street.
Okay. Here we go.
Yes. I've been looking forward to collapsing onto my bed since landing. I can't believe I just did all that. I'm glad the neighbors didn't call the police on me.
Thank goodness. Oh, no.
I don't have any keys. This wouldn't have been a problem at all because, like I said, I have a roommate.
But they're out to lunch!
Were you here this whole time? They were at lunch and weren't coming back for the next 3 hours.
Oh, no.
Okay. I'm not a professional when it comes to anything, and that includes breaking into houses. But lord dang it if that skill wouldn't have been pretty darn handy to have right there. Is it a crime to break into your own house, Your Honor? Yes? No? This is kind of a weird situation for both of us.
I've never done this before.
I tried the front door, the back door, the garage door, the secret door. There wasn't any way I was gonna be able to get into this house.
There's only one solution. Uber to where your friend is eating and hang out with them. Or your roommate is eating and hang out with them. Man, is it just me or has this situation basically happened to everyone? And I'm surprised that this is an animation. I was kind of hoping that there would be like cowboys from space coming through and they shot your door with blasters and got rid of all the doorknobs, or a pack of Wolverines is like in front of your house. Like you forgot your key, okay? You forgot your key. Just meet up with the homies or wait for the homies to show up. Hopefully she, you know, for the sake of the story, I hope she did something dastardly, you know?
There wasn't any way I was gonna be able to get into this house, which is how it should be. But I was still mad about it. doing and living in a house that people can't break into. Stupid. I was so drained, I contemplated just laying on the ground of my backyard for
Valid.
3 hours until someone came home. But I decided that would be an inefficient use of time and also too much of a depressing scene to look at for anyone walking by. So instead, I ordered another Uber to drive me to where my roommate was so we could all hang out and then come back to the house together.
There you
Almost
go.
an hour later, I'm finally there. I tried my best to be social and energetic.
Did
We
they
went
not
and
bring
got
a key?
lunch and stuff, but I was just in critical survival mode. Some people get all loose when they're tired or giggly or maybe even more social. But for me, my body just reverts to maintaining the baseline functions
Oh,
for me
yeah.
to just be a human.
Oh
I'll
yeah,
breathe.
oh yeah. I am the same way. I'm a different person when I'm tired. I've met many people where they're like, oh, I thought you were more energetic. And it's like, okay, cool. I slept 3 hours. That's why I'm like this. I can't talk. You know how our brains like need energy to think and talk and say words? I don't have that. I don't have that. Which is why like if I haven't slept enough, I can't film a video because my brain can't make words.
So yeah, I'm like Jaiden. I get it. We're the same. We do the same thing.
I'll breathe and look around and not fall over, but that's basically it.
Yeah, can't ask for much more than that, you know?
Oh my god, is Jaiden okay? They were getting sushi, so I tried to eat some, but coming back from eating sushi in Japan to some random place in California was just another variable of disappointing.
Yeah. Whack.
I'm not having a good time right now.
We got home, I crashed onto my bed, and proceeded to sleep for 17 hours.
Wow.
There's no moral to the story. I just liked it. It makes me laugh because I'm being stupid. But if I were to make one up last minute, make sure you can get into your house without keys because you never know when you're gonna need to get in without keys. That was really bad. Oh well, sorry. I don't know what else you want from me.
That's not a good moral. What? She's suggesting that the people watching make it so that you can get into your house without keys. If you can get into your house without keys, other people can get into your house without keys. Oh, you know, just always make sure you have one window unlocked in case, in the once in a lifetime chance that, you know, you get back from the airport without keys. Or, you know, the other thing where people go into people's houses through windows to rob them. Valid, but then a robber can get into your house without keys.
Well, that's why you have like a secret rock where you put the key inside or something like that.
Okay, so it's still a key. That's good. That's not bad. That's not bad.
Do you want to join soccer? Not really.
Too bad.
My mom had me in physical activities before I was even able to comprehend the idea of free will. But that's not anything
Same.
I'm complaining about. I really enjoyed most of them, and it got me being active really early in life. If mom didn't do that, I definitely would have just sat on the floor of my room and played with a light bright for 15 years. When I was 4, my mom was like, all right, up and at 'em, future diva. Time to get those feet a-tapping. Since I was so young, I really don't remember anything about dance classes. I know we had a tumbling part where we would spin around or do somersaults. And I think there was
That's
a giant
fun.
foam cheese wheel I would run full speed into. I don't know what that was all about. I also have this distinct memory that when I was on my way to class, I was chewing gum in the back seat, and for some stupid reason, I took it out of my mouth and started playing with it, except it started sticking to my fingers the more I tried to get it off, and by the time mom opened the door to let me out, one dance recital,
Yeah, I think I did gymnastics when I was like 4, but for me, for the most part, it was like team sports, and it was my dad who made me do all of it. My mom probably would have let me sit at home and watch Winnie the Pooh all day if my dad wasn't in the picture. But thankfully, my dad was, because yeah, if I didn't ever do any physical activity as a kid, yeah, my brain would have developed even worse than it did anyways. As much as I think that staying inside and watching my videos all day is awesome and that is cool, physical activity is very, very, very important. I am a strong supporter. Even if you're like me and you're like, no, I don't want to play the sport. I don't want to do it now. Once you get out there, it's typically kind of fun, you know?
One dance recital, I was doing this routine with other girls in front of the parents. I was in the center like the little queen I was. And apparently, in the middle of the performance, the girl on the left froze up and stopped dancing.
Aww.
Megan, I swear to God, if you ruin my big moment, I'll put gum in your hair. I guess it wasn't that big of a deal, but there was a part where we had to start shuffling to the side,
no.
and she still wouldn't move. So what did I do to continue the show? I grabbed her tiny 4-year-old hand.
Yes.
We looked at each other. I nodded.
We got
her eyes
this.
lit up with determination. We danced in sync for the rest of the show, hitting every step perfectly, and got a standing ovation from all the parents as we were showered by flowers. Just kidding, I started pushing her as I was dancing because she was in my way.
Okay. No way. No way, what? What? Real footy. That's crazy. I mean, yeah, none of this is remotely important. You know, you're not competing. This whole thing is just for your parents to be like, oh, look at how cute. Look at my little Jaiden. What she did. You know, I don't think any of those parents are like, my daughter's gonna be the number one dancer. So yeah, you know, you're getting her involved. You know, it's all good.
After blowing it out of the water and becoming too good at dance with gum webs and shoving away the competition, I dropped it and started cheerleading. And I don't remember anything about that era at all. My parents could be like, no, you never did cheerleading. And I'd be like, yeah, okay. One time getting out of my dad's car to go to practice, I slammed the door onto my thumb and was like,
oh.
Dad! And that's it. That's all I got for you. It doesn't have anything to do with cheer at all. But here's a picture of me doing some cheer thing for proof I did it. And also, here's my thumb. Yes, I still have it. Next up was gymnastics. That was one of the most terrifying experiences of my life. Not because we were doing a bunch of crazy flips and spinning around bars. Nah, I was just a freaking pussycat. I was so bad at everything. I was the first to fall over with the wall handstands.
It's hard.
I couldn't do a single pull-up. Still can't.
Also, I feel like, I can do pull-ups now. But I feel like people with ADHD have bad balance. I think I've heard that.
That's true.
That's true. Yeah, because my balance was always terrible. It was so bad. Do people with ADHD have bad balance? Yes. Neurological basis. The cerebellum, a part of the brain that regulates balance and coordination, is often underdeveloped or dysfunctional in individuals with ADHD. Yeah, you could describe my brain as dysfunctional in a few ways. But hey, you just because we're disadvantaged doesn't mean we can't do it, you know? I have trained for many years to have better balance than I used to. And I don't know how to show that aside from doing that. Okay, important question though. What's better, sports or forks? Let me know in the comments below.
Still can't. I didn't know why people kept yelling, stick it at me.
The gum.
Yeah, stick it to the man. I was so wimpy and bad. I was the kid the coaches had to pull aside during practice and be worked on one-on-one. While everyone else was having fun in the foam pit, I was taken off to the side to work on not being a failure.
Oh.
Jaiden, lean back. I'm spotting you. We're gonna do a back bend. No, I can't do it! Just lean back. My arm is right here. Never! I have no reason to trust you! Stick it to the man. I didn't spit in anyone's face. But I was never able to do a back bend because I trusted no one and thought I'd just fall over and die. I was a woke 6-year-old. Already knew not to trust anyone but myself.
Okay.
Aren't you the one who slammed your own thumb into a car door?
Valid.
And then one time, I was at a friend's house jumping on her trampoline, and I landed on my knees weird and somehow spun it into an excuse to stop gymnastics. Yay, quitting. Not a prodigy-born gymnast? Well, alright then, how about soccer? I played soccer for a long time, just like everyone else has, and actually really enjoyed it for a while. My first team was called the Pink Panthers, because our uniforms were hot pink. I was the nerd of the team that kept a stuffed animal Pink Panther in my soccer bag for good luck. It didn't work, we sucked butt. But it was still a lot of fun.
See, I think soccer. I never call it soccer because I'm Mr. Worldwide, as we know. I feel like soccer, it feels weird even saying it, is like the standard, like that's the sport that you just have to play when you're a kid. But in Canada, instead of soccer, it's hockey. Like replace soccer with hockey, and that's what it's like in Canada. Anywhere I've lived, at least. I've talked about this before, but let me see if I can find basically an example. Yep, there you go. This is my life as a tiny child, just sliding into the net.
Thought I was going to catch a cute moment with his bestie, but got
oh no, they're learning to have hockey fights at the age of 5. Yeah, dude, this was literally me. This was literally me. When I say literally, I mean that's not me, but I had jerseys that looked exactly like that. I was exactly that size, and this was my life.
Oh my gosh!
gosh! Yeah, I've talked about my my old school Tim Hortons Timbits hockey. When I realized I could just trip people and not get penalties because I'm 5 years old, that lasted a long time.
Coincidentally, one time we played against another team that was also pink. They were called the Pink Panthers.
What?
All right, Pink Panthers. We've got a big game this weekend against the Pink Panthers.
Oh, I hate them.
Well, it sounds like we win either way.
I
All
heard
the
they're
parents would
tough.
be trying to cheer for us, but it was pretty confusing
Go
because
Pink
it would just
Panthers!
turn into Go Pink Panthers.
But we hate the Pink Panthers.
Go hot Pink Panthers. Come on, light Pink Panthers. You got this. Don't pass it to the other team. That's your own goal.
Wait, can we bet on this game? Because I am betting all of my money on the Pink Panthers to win. Can we place bets on this game? Because I will put my whole life savings on the Pink Panthers. Because I know they're gonna win. Don't ask me how I know. I can see these things, you know?
I ended up not liking soccer after a while because everyone was getting more and more intense about it. Destroy them, Amelia! Kick their shins! Yellow cards are just warnings!
Okay.
How about we just have fun, guys?
Yeah.
I couldn't keep up with the burning hunger for victory everyone else started developing, and I started getting really scared. Whenever there was a one-on-one charge to the ball, I would run at full speed to look like I was dedicated and wanted to win. But at the last second, I just run past them because I didn't want to get plowed or kicked in the face.
Okay.
And then I kept running and ran all the way home. Call me selfish, but I wasn't taking a soccer ball to the face for this madness. I wasn't that devoted to the team. Like, I don't mind losing. During soccer, I also tried karate for a couple years.
Cool.
And enjoyed that too. Until it started getting more extreme and everyone was gaining an undying thirst for intensity again. Hey, this is kind of fun. There isn't much to say here. I enjoyed it for a long time. My brother and I were in the classes together. That was some fun sibling bonding time. Yeah! We participated in little tournaments where we would perform our forms and spar each other. Sometimes we would have to perform forms to music, and it was like a little dance recital, except without any 4-year-olds that needed to be shoved off the stage. And I'm not gonna show any footage of those tournaments because it's very embarrassing, and I don't need that on the internet.
Let's go. Do you kick each other or just the air? How are they going to make these children do this to the Kung Fu fighting song? Is that not offensive? Lola, you're Asian.
Yeah.
Would you be offended if you were doing karate and they made you do your moves to the Kung Fu fighting song? Would you be offended by that?
Where did karate originate from?
Oh, I don't know. But is the Kung Fu fighting song even made by an Asian person? Probably. It might be. Okay, Carl Douglas. Okay. Jamaican British. Yeah, he probably... Listen, unless he was a fantastic Kung Fu fighter, I don't know if he, you know... Everybody was
Finally, in 6th grade, I dropped everything and started up tennis, which was the first sport I actually got the hang of and loved. I even joined the high school team, which was cool.
Wow.
One time when we were practicing after school, the guys' track team was doing warm-ups by the courts, so they were all lined up behind the fence in the sitting area. It was pretty chill. We were doing our own thing and stuff, but every once in a while, one of them would make a stupid comment like, "Yeah, you go, girls. Come on, hit it harder." No one took note of them because they were just pesky boys and we were too busy kicking butt. But at one point, I smacked the ball hard enough that it bounced and stuck right into the fence where one of their faces were. I don't like showing off in front of guys or people or anything. That's not at all my thing. I can be attracted to all genders, which is normal and not a big deal, and would still rather just stand in a dark corner and not draw attention to myself and be invisible. But the shock on his face and the fact he stumbled back a bit out of surprise.
Was that hard enough, Randall? Huh? How was that, Randall? Was that hard enough for you? Dingus!
Face and the fact he stumbled back a bit out of surprise. That made me feel like All Might for a sec there, with his sassy attitude and taking no bull from anyone.
Yeah.
Aha! I am here! Little side story. Tennis practice in the Arizona summers were frickin' brutal.
Oh my
It would be 116 degrees outside and we would be playing for 3 hours. There were points where people would be in the middle of a match, go off to the side to throw
My
up,
skin
and then
would
get
melt
right back
off.
into playing.
My skin would melt off.
15 love? And that's it. That's all the sports I've been involved in during my lifetime so far. I'm glad I have all those experiences because I feel like they gave me a lot of spice and variety to my life during those times. It's really important for your health to keep active, and I had a lot of fun just being a kid running around and doing sports and feeling great. And now I do nothing but sit behind a computer and draw.
No! No, Jaiden, no! You had the opportunity for morals. You had the opportunity to show people that when your parents are no longer forcing you to do sports, you can still do sports by yourself and it's cool. I mean, I don't...
What?
Well, actually, no, I am finally doing a sport. I mean, I've been working out forever. You know, I've been staying fit and healthy, but I just started doing jujitsu. So excited. I'm not gonna talk too much about it until I'm decent at it, because right now I'm really bad. But in a few years, homies, trust me, in a few years, I will be a purple belt, okay? I'm gonna be good at this. And if anyone ever messes with me, they're gonna get caught in a triangle, guillotine, Kimura, then they won't even know what hit them. Homies, I have a very important question for you. We today were looking at older classic Jaiden Animations videos that I never saw. These videos are still 6 years old. Jaiden is posting new stuff. Should I look at a new Jaiden Animations video to see how much she's changed? Should I do that? I need you to let me know in the comments. If that's what you want, let me know, okay? And if you want to watch me look at Jaiden Animations again, here is the whole playlist of times I looked at Jaiden Animations. If you haven't seen all the other times we looked at Jaiden, check it out. This is a really fun series. I love Jaiden Animations. So yeah, make sure you're caught up on the series. Here's Jaiden's channel. Make sure you're subscribed, obviously. Jaiden is wonderful. She works very hard. And here's another video I think you'll like if you don't want to watch another Jaiden video. I'll see you here. I'll see you there. Peace!